the Vanilla Ice Corner. We haven't done one of these on Audioface. When we get to
Dun 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 dun.
when we get to analyze a song that is accused of sounding like another song, and we do our own I guess Audioface court here.
We do our own investigative journalism.
Yeah, we report, you decide. So Future Nostalgia, the world tour for Dua Lipa's album, which we said, and for context, Dua Lipa's album was very good. We said that a lot of pop artists are doing this throwback to the 70s, 80s kind of thing, literally future nostalgia, and Dua Lipa, of all the pop artists, did it the best. Ariana Grande gave it a go, Lady Gaga gave it a go, I almost said Larry David. Yeah, pop star Larry David made an album very similar to Ariana Grande, and yeah, no. So you have a lot of artists making this kind of thing. Most of them aren't doing that great, but Dua Lipa's was really solid. We gave it a lot of credit, and a lot of people took notice, including people who want the bag. And they kind of justify that they like say the song includes some infringement, and this is a thing that's been happening a lot lately with things like with songs that get popular, and then artists from like 20, 30 years ago are like, you copied my thing. Sometimes it's a little more cut and dry than others, but Dua Lipa is a little bit unlucky because there are there's 3 songs, 2 separate lawsuits, and they got filed within about a week apart from each other. So one of the songs, I'll go in order from like least to most egregious. The most recent suit was filed on behalf of L. Russell Brown and Sandy Lenzer, who wrote 2 songs, Wiggle and Giggle All Night and Don Diablo. They're by different artists, but they're both written by those 2 people, and they allege that the melody is a duplicate of those tracks. So I included the one that was like the most similar, in my opinion, of the 2, Wiggle and Giggle, in like the podcast version. And Sean and I heard it before listening to this because, okay, I'm giving away the magic of how the podcast gets edited and shit. But we both felt that, and you can like pop in if you want to, that Wiggle and Giggle All Night didn't seem the most related. Like, you had some intonations with like how the words were delivered, like kind of quickly going through it, but beyond that, I didn't see like a big, the chorus of Levitating is pretty recognizable in the way the notes are, even to a lay music person. And I didn't really hear much of that in the chorus of Wiggle and Giggle or in any of the parts.
Not much, no.
Yeah. Same with Don Diablo. I listened to that separately, and I was like, I don't even want to reference that if even Wiggle and Giggle All Night isn't making it. Then when I heard Live Your Life by Article Sound System, and that one's a little hard to paint.
Oh.
So as we,
baby Jesus.
so as we just played, yeah, so as we just played that there, that's a little tougher. So we're not speaking out of like a legal decision or like expertise in this case, but in our own opinion, for the purposes of the Audioface Awards, we're giving this the Vanilla Ice Award. I mean,
well,
a nomination.
I'm gonna levitate to giving this the Vanilla Ice nomination.
Yeah,
do it.
That's very similar, but really fast to get into the context of these things. That also, I love that reference because in the lawsuit, I do enjoy when lawyers have fun from time to time. The lawsuit was filled with puns, saying defendants have levitated away plaintiff's intellectual property. Plaintiffs bring suits that defendants cannot wiggle out of their willful infringement.
Oh my god, beautiful.
Like, dude, come on. I'm suing you for dad jokes. But let's see. So like I'm reading from Fast Company here, and these copyright lawsuits of this type have been kind of common and costly for music artists, so much so that there's a form of insurance. Errors and omissions has existed all the time, but usually it's for people who do legal work. So like if a lawyer makes a mistake, they're insured against that mistake. They can be sued, like they'll be fine in that case, right? But now artists and musicians are starting to get errors and omissions insurance. So in the event that someone tries to sue them for copyright infringement on a song, they're insured in that case. Because these things can cost millions of dollars. They can freak musicians out because sometimes you have the Vanilla Ice case where we're like, hey man, you saw Under Pressure and you're like, okay, how can I flip this? And it's like, dude, do not pass go, do not collect $200. But you have a lot of cases where like music, there truly is only so much you can do with the basic notes and choruses, especially in pop music.
Super pop, yeah. The
more time goes on, especially now that we've scaled out and you have so many artists doing so many different things, you're only going to get more songs sounding the same. I mean, that's our complaint on Audioface, and sometimes it's anecdotal. This is when it goes like really hard in the paint and gets like kind of serious. But I think that because of that, we're going to have to kind of look and go, okay, some of these, are they like cash grabs from artists who aren't making money right now and think they can do it, as some people have the opinion of, or is it the case where, you know, it's an honest mistake? It's hard to make music. Making a pop song just sort of seems like, oh, it clicks. And maybe it clicks because that pop song or that pop melody has already been done. But it's just so hard to do that as you're making it. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to follow because we have the past 5 years to see how these cases pan out, because sometimes they work out well for the sued artist, the defendant, and sometimes they don't and they have to pay up. It's kind of all over the place with how it's judged, what is similar versus what isn't. So I really don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to make making music easier for a lot of these artists, especially.
No, God no.
Yeah.
Yeah, and only time will tell. So, but it's nice to get a Vanilla Ice. We haven't had one in a while, so
Yeah, it's been a minute. Gotta dust off that usage.